It ain't the left side or the right side, then it must be the fin side. It ain't the left
Thank you,
side.
Solo D. Welcome to another episode of On the Fin Side here with Kat and Paul. Join us on Facebook, Twitter, Spreaker, iTunes, YouTube, iHeartRadio, and on Spotify. Check out our merch store too, onthefinside.threadless.com. The Dolphins face the New England Patriots this weekend at Hard Rock Stadium, noon Central Time, 1 Eastern. Patriots, as of this recording, are 7.5-point favorites, attempting to secure their 10th straight AFC East title in South Florida. We're joined by our Patriots correspondent, Derek Havens from PatsFans.com. You can also follow him on Twitter at Patriots Haven. That's Patriots, Haven. Derek, thanks for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me.
So here we are, late in the season again. Dolphins are spiraling toward mediocrity. Patriots are about to secure yet another division title. How does this year feel compared to, frankly, the last 9 years when the Patriots have brought home the AFC East crown?
Well, it's it's been an up and down year for New England, actually. I think that this year there's been a lot of questions about Bill Belichick's tenure, how long Tom Brady will play, what the team needs to add moving forward, salary cap positions, where Rob Gronkowski in terms of health. I think there's been a lot of questions really surrounding this team more than at least ever in the past 10 years. They're at least in New England. I know they kind of look at things through a tougher microscope around here, and the standards are high, and I understand that. I mean, you wouldn't believe it, but the team could be going to its 8th straight AFC Championship game, and they could also join the Atlanta Braves of any of the 4 major sports to have a team win 10 straight division titles if they can close the deal on Sunday. But there's a lot of question marks around this team, going back to whether it's Tom Brady's personal training methods, whether it's Jimmy Garoppolo, the head coach to be, the Josh McDaniels head coach rumors. There's a lot going on with this team. They do a good job of kind of keeping it off the field, but in terms of people covering the team, they have their no shortage of a drama to discuss.
Yeah, and let's stick on the offense and the weapons there. I mean, you said Gronkowski, and, typically if this guy plays 16 games, we're used to him putting up 13, 14, 15 touchdowns and 1,200 yards. This year it seems to be a little bit different. He's had only 3 catches in each of his last 4 games instead of what he usually puts up every year. But it looks like the surrounding cast on offense has been a lot better with James White and Sony Michel, and you get Rex Burkhead coming back. And Edelman's picked up right where he left off. And Josh Gordon, too, they traded for earlier in the year. So how does the ball distribution go now for the Patriots? What's kind of the pecking order there right now?
Well, I do think that Rob Gronkowski, we're not really sure whether he's going to be the same kind of Gronk that he was before. And this is a guy who, in less than 29 years had 3 back surgeries. And I can't imagine that kind of physical toll, the kind of hits he takes. Defenders constantly talk about how the bigger they are, the harder you have to hit them, the lower you have to hit them. I mean, there are a lot of issues. I actually went to the University of Arizona and was there. I got there the second year he was there, and covering him, and he's dealing with a lumbar spine puncture before he's even out of college, and now to continue, his career, and he's missed 34 games in his career, and that's over 2 seasons, and it's all due to injury. And he's such a talented player, but he's really lumbering. He's not moving the same. Don't get me wrong; he can still embarrass defensive backs and linebackers. He's just not doing it on a consistent enough basis. And I'm not sure if it's one of those things where it's an issue with an ankle or a back injury that he's been having problems with this season, or if it's one of those things that age is starting to slow him down. And that's hard to say, but Julian Edelman's gone up there in age, but he is still able to be a consistent weapon for Brady. And I think between Brady, James White, and Josh Gordon, they've been able to been a pretty good passing offense, but they are going heavy in the run game, and Sony Michel's been a big part of that. They like to mix White in, and they like to stay balanced in New England.
Yeah, and they can give a lot of different looks too with all those different packages they have, and it's hard to believe Gronkowski's only 29 years old. It seems like he's been in the league for years, especially. Well, he has been in the league for years, especially as it appears for us Dolphins fans here. On the offensive line, obviously, the Dolphins have had a lot of success against New England in Miami for whatever reason. Tom Brady actually a losing record in Miami over his career. Obviously, the Patriots heavy favorites in this team, and it seems like every time the Dolphins have done well against the Patriots, it's because they've been able to put a lot of pressure on Tom Brady in Miami. The offensive line for the Patriots, obviously, they lost Nate Solder in the offseason, replaced him with a Trent Brown from the 49ers, and it seems like year after year, the Patriots are able to patch together a good offensive line and keep Brady upright. How does the offensive line look this year?
The offensive line has been playing phenomenal for really the stretch of the season. I think that Trent Brown has come in and he put a lot of conditioning worries to rest after about game 1 or 2. They drafted Isaiah Wynn in the first round, and most thought he would be a guard. The team views him as a tackle. I guess we'll see where his proper landing spot fits when the time comes. Unfortunately, tore his Achilles, so he's done for the year. But they have Joe Tooney at the left guard spot that they really think highly of. David Andrews, even though he's undersized, has been really a team fixture and a captain for them on that offensive front. Jack Mason, the right guard, has been one of the best guards in football, got very richly paid before the season started. And, at right tackle, they have Marcus Cannon. They also have a nice wing tackle in Lee Adrian Waddle. So between those positions, they have been, doing pretty well overall on the offensive line. And, the protection for Tom has been good. It's really not been an issue in terms of protection. It's been an issue more of attrition, like many teams around the league. You have to stay. The most important thing is staying healthy. You can get chemistry, you can get timing, etc. And I think that in terms of where this team is right now, their offensive line has been very strong, and they're coming together at the right time.
And moving to the defensive side of the ball, in years past, they've had a lot of flashy players on the front seven, like the Jamie Collins and the Chandler Jones. I know it's a few years removed from that, but looks like just a solid group there. I mean, up front, I know Trey Flowers is having a really good year. I think PFF ranks him as the number 2 defensive end in all of football. Lawrence Guy, they signed, who's been playing very well. Dante Hightower and Kyle Van Noy at the linebacker spot. How are things looking there on the front seven?
Well, Lawrence Guy and Trey Flowers have been absolutely phenomenal. I mean, Trey Flowers is not one of those guys like Khalil Mack who's going to be just absolutely stat stuffing. A lot of the time, some of the work he does is credited by another, player on the defensive line, but he's the one who makes something happen. But Flowers is absolutely just really coming into his own, and he's been putting a lot of things together there along the front. And Lawrence Guy, they brought over from Baltimore, 4 years, $20 million, about $5 million a year, and he has been, even though he's not playing maybe 100% of the snaps, he is absolutely making his presence felt consistently throughout the season. He's been terrific. I would say that the reason this defense, and to me, the Patriots defense that should be better, and don't get me wrong, they should be better. The defense, I think, has more talent on it than the performance has indicated at times. But I would say that Devin McCourty, Dante Hightower, those players, they're carrying a high salary number, and I don't think they've been the same players they have been in year past. I think there have been other players that have helped the team more, and not that they've been terrible, they've just not lived up to their what their bill will be. And I think Dante Hightower had a great game in Minnesota. Devin McCourty, great game in Minnesota, or against Minnesota rather, last week. at Gillette. It was a very good win, and the defense rallied around, and they were both playing great, but it was probably their best game of the season. Before that, they've seemed mostly quiet. Patrick Chung's been the better safety, and Kyle Van Noy has been the better linebacker. So I think if you're looking at this Patriots defense, you look at a defense that has some talent, has some good coaching, can be aggressive, and can make plays, but there are times where you can catch them and put them in position to score points against them. And if I'm Miami, I'm looking at them and saying, no one really scares me. We just can't beat ourselves. Let's put ourselves in good position. The Patriots can tackle really well, but we can still put ourselves in position to make plays, move the chains, and we have to convert in the red zone. If I'm Miami, that's what I'm thinking. I want to make sure that I'm converting on third down in the red zone.
And that's been a big problem for the Dolphins, especially with Ryan Tannehill, quarterback, and with Brock Osweiler, quarterback, this season. So what's your prediction for this game? How do you see this going?
Well, you kind of hit the nail on the head right there. I think that the Dolphins have had problems kind of continuing drives. It's kind of an all or nothing team. They need to win on third down and in the red zone consistently to win this game. Look, the Patriots have led the league or been in the top 5 in terms of scoring offenses for, like almost 8 years. It's been consistent offensive production. And this year it's not the same. They're not just going with the pass first approach. They want to run the ball. They want to stay balanced. They want to work in the play action. The Patriots are probably scoring in the mid-20s. And their defense is averaging in the low 20s. It's not as big of a victory margin as you've seen in the past. I think that there's no doubt that New England's had problems playing in Miami. They always seem to have problems going down there. I mean, the Dolphins have won 4 of the last 5 matchups when they're playing at home. So if you're the Patriots, you really can't give the Dolphins, you can't really give them, easy turnovers to set up points, and you have to make sure you're clean. But I do think the Patriots right now have been playing better football, and it's kind of rounded into shape a little bit. I don't think this is as great of a team as we've seen in the past few years, but I do think that they're going to get the job done, and I'm not sure Miami is going to be able to defensively get off the field on third down, and I want to see if, I want to monitor the Xavier Howard, injury as well, because I think that will hurt Miami. But I do think the Patriots are probably going to end up winning by 7 to 10 points. I'll say 27. I'll say 27 to 20 Patriots this Sunday.
And that would be the exact opposite score of when the Dolphins beat the Patriots last year on Monday Night Football. So,
yep,
yeah, and
absolutely.
I think the Patriots last week against Minnesota, they won 24-10. It was a much more impressive victory than it may have appeared against a very good team. And I think that's kind of how the Patriots want to win this year. They're not going to blow teams out like 10 years ago, when you had Brady in his prime and Moss and Welker and, even several years ago when you had Aaron Hernandez and Rob Gronkowski beating people up at tight end there. I mean, that was more of a flashy team. I think they're looking for a more balanced approach this year.
100%. They want it's stupid to say, but it's almost like they want to make the game closer, not because ideally, obviously, you want to blow your opponents out, but that's just the kind of team they built. They don't want to be as finesse. They want to be a little more physical. They want to be balanced. They are very much wanting to set the tone both on offense and defense that they could be tough, and then they're going to be running Pac-12 football out there all over the field. And look, if you look at what they've done in the past, like you just said, they have absolutely in the past wanted to throw up high 30s, low 40s points. I think the team has the ability to do it, but not as consistently as in years past. Now they're looking really for like that high 20s, maybe 30-point mark. They want to play tough defense. They want to stay balanced. They want to slow the game down. They want to make plays. And for this Miami team, I think I will not say that anything will be easy. But I do think that coming off of the team's I think the Vikings' victory for New England was the most impressive of the season, and I think they're going to continue to build on that, moving forward.
Derek Haven's joining us from PatsFans.com. Be sure to check out his website. Also give him a follow there on Twitter, Patriots Haven. And he's been kind enough to join us here tonight, giving us a look at the New England Patriots sideline. The game takes place this Sunday, noon Central, 1 p.m. Eastern Time. You can follow Paul and I on the Finside on Twitter, Spreaker, iTunes, YouTube, iHeartRadio, and on Spotify. And if it's not on the right side and it's not on the left side, it is on the Finside. Solo D, take us home.
It ain't the left side or the right side, then it must be the fin side.